All right, here we are in the home stretch. Everything is already set up. Excuse me one second.
Welcome to OpenTX.
It's already set up, but I thought I'd run it back through with you guys. You know, go ahead and finish this whole thing off, like in totality. So even show you how I set it up on the computer. So once you have your receiver bound and you got your modes, remember we did our model setup on the transmitter and we activated those channels. Then we gotta go ahead and do the Betaflight stuff. So we will hook up our drone or the flight controller. Go ahead and open Betaflight, which we already have here. Connect. And so this is what I did from the very beginning. I went here, went to ports. So I started up my Crossfire Nano to RX and TX3. So I'm going to activate UART3 for serial RX. And then the smart audio, the data cable from our transmitter was put on TX5. So I'm going to put UART5, come over here to the right under peripherals. And then in this drop-down menu, I want to select smart audio. So meaning I want UART5 to be used for smart audio. And then I saved. Let me move this out of the way. So I saved and rebooted. Then I came over here to configuration. I changed my ESC motor protocol to DShot 600 because we need that legendary turtle mode. Scroll down. I turned my accelerometer off. If you want to leave yours on, you may want to think about your arming angle. If I were to delete this and put this at 180 degrees, that means the drone would arm no matter what angle it was at. That's up to you, you know, however you want that. I think that's kind of a safety feature built in. Sometimes if the drone's tilted a certain way, it wouldn't arm. At any rate, I don't use angle mode, so I'm gonna turn my accelerometer off, or that's what I did. I put my gyro and PID loop both on the highest that they'll go, which is 8K. I'll put my craft name in. Serial base receiver for my receiver mode. If you're running another, like maybe an S-Bus receiver, you could go to S-Bus like FR Sky or something like that. But since I'm running Crossfire, that's what I put here. Scroll down. Definitely want air mode enabled, OSD, anti-gravity, dynamic filter, all that stuff. And then I turned, even though I don't have a beeper installed right now, I went ahead and turned this USB off so that if I ever did have the beeper installed and then I plugged it into Betaflight, it wouldn't start beeping. So I saved and rebooted that. Yeah, that's everything. All right, power and battery, didn't do anything here. Fail safe, I didn't do anything here either since it's already on drop. Plus we set our receiver, remember in our radio, we put it on cut. That means if it loses signal, it just drops out the sky, which is what you need to have. PID tuning, I didn't change the PIDs. Betaflight says it comes with good PIDs for 4.1, so I'll try those out and see if it does fine. So I'll let that alone, go over to rate profile. I'll put in my rates here. Feel free to use these if you want. They're low rates because I would like to race a lot, but I also use it for freestyle, but help yourself if you'd like to. Receiver. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and power up the drone again and show you something you might find. So for some reason, normally with Crossfire, I don't have to give it battery power for it to log in, but I gotta plug it up for some reason now. But let's say you've got your receiver bound and you plug your battery in so that it can register in Betaflight. And once you plug your battery in, you might, and come to a receiver tab, you might see your drone just kind of flipping out and spinning like that. If that's the case, it just means you need to change your channel map. And the channel map is up here at the top, right here. There's a drop-down menu. They have some presets which might work for you, so try those out, the Free Sky, Spectrum, whatever. Try those out and then hit save and see if your drone goes back to kind of normal operation. I just already know that for me, it's always going to be TAER1324. So that's what I typed in and I hit save. And as soon as I hit save, got my channel maps right, then the drone stopped flipping and I could test it on my controller and it you know, it does what I want it to. So we got that taken care of. All my limits here look fine. So I saved those settings and then went to modes. If you remember on the radio when we set up our model, Let's see, we set up our model and we did our auxiliary channels. So we set the switches up, right? And so that was the part in the radio where we set our switches up. Now in Betaflight is where we say what are those switches going to do. And of course, for this stuff, you typically are going to need LiPo power, so you'll need to have your drone plugged up while you're adjusting this stuff. But I went to my arm, and so I added a range. Here's where I'm going to say which of those switches that I activated do I want to arm my drone. So I clicked add range, and I think it starts off with auto. And what auto means is that whatever switch you flip on your transmitter, whatever switch it is, that's going to be the switch that goes for this category. And so for me, I want this switch to be my arm switch. And when I did, see, it automatically goes to auxiliary 1, meaning that's my aux 1 channel. And I have 3 ranges here. I have all the way up, in the middle, which goes there, and then all the way down, which is where I want my drone to arm. So I want my drone to arm when that switch is all the way down. So that's why I have my slider. I can drag and drop this. That's why I have it so that once it's in this range, it means it's gonna arm. And that's why you see it's red here. It should be arming, but since it's on the bench, it disables the arm feature. All right, and then for beeper, I added a range. Even though I don't have the beeper installed here, I went ahead and set it up in case I put one in later. So this, I added a range, and if it's set on auto, I like for this to be my beeper switch, and watch, as soon as I move it, it's gonna go to aux 3, and I want, again, my range, I want it to activate when it's all the way down. And you can have a little test here, like see if I flip it back up, this turns gray again. So I flip it middle way, it's still not active because it's just in the middle. And I flip it all the way down, then it goes in the activation range, and that's why it's yellow. Look if we scrolled our range over here to the middle. Then once I flip this switch down to the middle, well, I'd have to save it. I'm not gonna save it, but I'd have to save it, and then it activates. So I want it to activate only when it's flipped all the way down. And so that's the way I set up mine. And then I'll scroll down here to flip over crash, of course, turtle mode, cowabunga dude. I click add range, and of course it had the auto start. This is my turtle mode switch, and you know, any of these switches you set up how you want to, but this is what I want my switch to be, turtle mode, and so it just automatically goes to it. So I set up a pit mode. I haven't tried that out before, but I'm gonna try that out and see how that works with the video transmitter, see if there's anything else I need to do with it. But once I set my switches up to do what I want them to do, I click save, and then I didn't do anything on your adjustments, and this is expert mode stuff. You might not even see this. I didn't bother with any motor testing. Well, I did earlier when I remapped them, but that's a story for another day. Here I went to my OSD, and I clicked, I want to enable battery voltage, so I'll see that. And then I wanted to put my craft name right here. And once this stuff comes up, you know, you can kind of drag and drop this stuff wherever you want it to be on your OSD. But, you know, I like mine to kind of just be down here at the bottom, and then any warnings to pop up in the middle. So those are things I enabled, and then warnings, of course, on. So I saved that. Video transmitter, like again, I did go ahead and put my transmitter tables in, but I'm not going to go over that. Bardwell does a lot better job than I could. So if you're confused about the video transmitter tables, just go like search on his channel, why is my smart audio not working? And he's got a good Betaflight 4.1 video and smart audio to show you how to set up these channels. And then that is it. So that should be the full entire setup. All right, so let's exit out of here. Okay, no. Well, yeah, we'll disconnect everything. I didn't need to save anything because it was right to start with. So I'm gonna disconnect this. I'm gonna unplug from the USB from Betaflight. What I need to do now is test my motor direction. And let me see, let's make sure we can get this in shot. Okay. So I have my quad plugged up right now. I'm gonna go ahead, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna arm it. And so this is in air mode, meaning these motors are gonna start spinning, right? Let's see, I need to make sure they're spinning in the right direction. So this is motor 1, this is motor 2. I know that for props in. All right, so I know that motor 2 needs to be spinning counterclockwise, and I know that motor 3 needs to be spinning counterclockwise. So motor 2, motor 3, they are tied together, so that means motor 2 needs to be spinning counterclockwise, motor 3 counterclockwise, which means motor 1 should be spinning clockwise and motor 4 should be spinning clockwise. Now I'm gonna bet that all of these motors spin clockwise when I boot it up, but the way we'll find out is when I arm it and the motor starts spinning in air mode, I'm just gonna lightly run my finger around each motor and I'm gonna go the direction they should be spinning, and if it goes with it, it means that they're spinning the right direction. If it doesn't, like if I'm getting resistance, it means I need to change that motor. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. So motor 2 is good, that's spinning counterclockwise. Motor 3 is spinning counterclockwise. Motor 1 is also spinning counterclockwise, which it should be clockwise. So we know we need to change motor 1. Motors 2 and 3 are good. Let's see. All right, motor 4 is spinning counterclockwise. So motors 1 and motor 4 should be spinning clockwise, but they're spinning counterclockwise. Motors 2 and 3, they're good. So we know we need to change the direction of motor 1 and motor 4. So we need to reverse those. The way we'll do that is we'll go into Betaflight Suite. Again, I'm gonna take my USB, get this plug backed up. So let's get our flight controller connected. All right, we got that connected. Now let's plug up. We'll pause on this update here. Okay, so we have our flight controller connected with our micro USB. We have our drone plugged up with our LiPo. We have opened up the current version of Betaflight Suite 32. Let's go ahead and first let's look at port again to see what's that's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and go to COM3, the USB serial device, and then click connect. All right, better luck. So we're here, we're connected. What I want to do now, as you can see, it says disconnect, so that means we're in here. Let's go to read setup. So, and it's going to tell you everything that's going on. So we've got everything loaded up. Click OK here. And remember, we said that we needed to change the direction of motor 1 and motor 4. All right, so they're spinning counterclockwise. Everything's spinning counterclockwise, but motor 1 and motor 4 need to be spinning clockwise. So what we're going to do is go right here. And first I'm gonna deselect everything except 1. So that means we're only changing the ESC from motor 1 right now. And then, so once we have just the 1 here, we're gonna go up here to motor direction, click over to reversed, and then I'm going to click right here to right setup to apply those settings. All right, and so number 1 is written, that's okay. And what did we also need to change? Motor 4. So let's click all these open again. I'm gonna deselect until we get to just 4. See, now just 4 is active. I'm gonna go up here to motor direction, click over to reverse, and now let's come down and click right setup to apply it. And we have okay. All right, so now we are good to disconnect. All right, and then I'm gonna unplug the LiPo just to get that reset. I'll unplug the USB cable, plug the LiPo
Telemetry
back
lost.
up real quick.
Telemetry recovered.
Let's have a look down. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and arm up this time. And what I should have now is the motors we changed, which are 1 and 4, those should now be spinning clockwise. So let's see if that is the case. All right, number 1 is good, and number 4 is good. So those are now spinning the opposite directions, and these are still good. So final thing is that motor 1 spins clockwise, motor 2 counterclockwise, motor 3 counterclockwise, and then motor 4 clockwise. That's it, that's done. Next thing we're gonna do is finish assembly. I'm gonna put props on, we'll do a test hover.
guys, we're finished up here. I want to show you. We're done. I just put the top plate back on. Put some props on. These are the new HQs, the Evan Turner version, so I can't wait to try these out. Haven't raced with them yet. Doing a little bit of freestyles, but I got these on here now. Got our GoPro mount on the front camera. A little bit more, as far as making things a little more tight, and safe, I guess, to keep things from getting damaged. What I've done is, in hindsight, I would have trimmed up this lipo lead a little bit more. It's in a good spot right now, but I would have made it shorter. But I did want it kind of tucked up here to the side, so that this connector will come over here to the right, keep it out of the way of props and whatnot. So I tucked this cable up to the side of the drone, got it zip tied here at that plate, and then I've also got this connector zip tied here. So everything is nice and tight and snug against the side of the drone, and not going to be in the way of propellers or anything. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, shout out to anyone who makes build videos like these. It's a little more time consuming than you might think. If you have any questions about anything I did here, please let me know. I understand the zoom quality isn't all that great. I need a better camera to get focus on like all the little pads, and so you can to actually read everything on flight controllers and stuff like that. But I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any questions, let me know.